I'm going to follow your rules and start directly from the title moment with a completed, natural version. Title, completed naturally. My wife took over her father's company after his sudden death. 3 days later, she fired me. She didn't even sit down. She stood at the head of the conference table, her hands resting lightly against the polished oak, her posture straighter than I had ever seen it. "I'm sorry, Daniel," she said. Her voice was calm. Too calm. "This is a business decision." The words didn't land at first. They floated somewhere between confusion and disbelief. I let out a small laugh, the kind people make when something doesn't make sense. "Emily, what are you talking about?" No one else in the room spoke. The board members avoided eye contact. Her father's chair at the end of the table was still empty. It had only been 3 days since Richard Caldwell died. 3 days since the heart attack that turned our lives inside out. And now she was standing there, acting like him, sounding like him, looking at me like I was just another employee. "You're being terminated, effective immediately," she said. The word terminated hit harder than anything else. Not husband, not partner, not the man who had helped her father build half the systems that company ran on. Just terminated. I leaned forward, my hands pressing against the table. "Emily, stop." My voice dropped. "This isn't funny." Her eyes flickered for a second. Just a second. Then they hardened again. "This isn't personal." That line. That exact line. It was something her father used to say. All the time. I felt something shift in my chest. "This is exactly personal," I said. "I'm your husband." The room went even quieter. She didn't respond right away. Instead, she reached for a folder in front of her. Papers. Formal documents. Prepared. Planned. "This has nothing to do with our marriage," she said. "It has everything to do with your position in the company." Histoire de hair. Trying to find the woman I knew. The woman who used to fall asleep on the couch next to me with spreadsheets open on her laptop. The woman who used to whisper that she hated corporate politics. The woman who cried in my arms the night her father first got sick. "She wouldn't do this," I said quietly. Her jaw tightened. "She would," she replied. And suddenly I realized. She didn't say I. She said she. Her father. The room blurred slightly. Something deeper was happening here. Something I didn't understand yet. "What?" I asked. Not loudly. Not aggressively. Just honestly. She inhaled slowly. Then exhaled. And for a brief moment, something human returned to her face. "Because you're a liability," she said. That word. Liability. It wasn't hers. It was his. Richard Caldwell used that word like a weapon. People weren't people to him. They were assets. Or liabilities. And now, she was using it too. I shook my head slowly. "No," I said. "You don't believe that." She didn't answer. Instead, she slid the folder across the table toward me. Severance package. Confidentiality agreement. Non compete clause. Everything was already done. Prepared before this meeting even started. Before I even walked in. Before she even looked at me today. "You planned this," I said. She didn't deny it. "I had to act quickly," she replied. "Leadership requires decisiveness." Another one of his lines. My chest tightened. This wasn't just about the job anymore. This was about something much deeper. "You've turned into him," I said. That finally hit. Her expression cracked. Just slightly. But it was there. "Don't say that," she whispered. But it was too late. Because we both knew it was true. The first night after I was fired, she didn't come home. No message. No explanation. Just silence. I sat alone in our living room, staring at the space where her father's portrait now leaned against the wall. She had brought it home after the funeral. Said she wanted to feel close to him. Now I understood what that really meant. The next morning, I started digging. Because something didn't feel right. Emily wasn't cold. She wasn't calculating. She wasn't the kind of person who blindsides her own husband. Unless she had a reason. A real reason. And if there was one thing I knew about Richard Caldwell, it was that nothing in his company was ever simple. By the second day, I found it. Buried in internal financial records. Hidden under layers of approvals and signatures. Transactions that didn't make sense. Shell vendors. Inflated contracts. Money moving in patterns that weren't normal. And every trail led back to one name. Not Emily. Not even directly to Richard. But to someone on the board. Victor Hayes. The same man who sat quietly during my termination. The same man who refused to meet my eyes. My stomach dropped. This wasn't just about me losing my job. This was about something much bigger. The third day, exactly 3 days after she fired me, Emily finally came home. She stood in the doorway for a long time before stepping inside. She looked exhausted, different, less controlled. "Did you find it?" she asked. "No griting. No apology. Just that." I froze. "You knew," I said. She closed the door behind her. "I needed you out of the company," she said, "before they connected you to me." The room went silent again. Everything shifted. "You fired me to protect me?" I asked. Her eyes filled just barely. "They're watching everything," she said. "Emails, calls, meetings. If you stay, they would have pulled you in." I felt the anger inside me twist into something else. Confusion, relief, fear. "All of this," I said, gesturing around. "The meeting, the way you spoke." "I had to become him," she said quietly. The words hung in the air. Heavy, painful, because that's the only language they respect. Inkspiller really looked at her this time. The exhaustion, the pressure, the weight of everything she had stepped into. "You could have told me," I said. "I couldn't," she replied. "They would have known." Silence filled the space between us. Then she stepped closer. "I need your help, Daniel," she said. "Not as a CEO, not as a Caldwell, but as my wife." And for the first time in 3 days, she sounded like herself again.